Okay, it is. Twitch is up, and you should be seeing it pretty soon, pretty quick.
I'm seeing it.
Okay,
It's
cool.
live. We're live.
Don't you think it's strange like how many people started interacting with your Twitter today and yesterday? It's like nothing can beat the anticipation of a board game coming or something. And it's like everybody's waiting for Autobahn, and so they're
Oh,
interacting with you.
yeah.
I was like, this is
Yeah.
weird.
I wasn't sure if it was that or whether Julian had accidentally made me popular by saying that
Oh, it could be
shitty thing that
that
he said
too.
to me the other day because I put that on Twitter and then I got a lot of responses. I don't think I've ever had so many responses
Mm.
because someone said something shitty to me. Is that should I think that it's a good thing? Is it a good
I don't know. Like, okay, so yes and no. I mean, infamy
This
versus
is an invitation
fame.
of everyone to say shitty things to me so that I can get sympathy likes. No, I'm kidding.
No,
Please
I
don't.
think a lot of people though do follow a little bit of drama when they can. I mean,
Yeah.
because it is our soap opera. But I kind of wonder if it's the game itself too. Like, had we been
No, I
talking
think
about
you're
something been
yeah.
out, then it would be
No, I
totally
think you're
different.
right. I think you're right. Like I posted about Autobahn and all I said, like I didn't really say much at all. I just said I'm playing this with you. And I got all these likes. And people were
And
like, ooh, how is it? How is it? They want to know.
right, and we're even just showing like a
I should have said it's rubbish. It's trash.
some of your copy, some of your copy
Sell
though.
it before you get
Yeah,
it. Yeah, sell it
and
to me.
besides, I know someone who might want it. So before they go, try to trick them.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't
So
know.
should we talk about the shitty thing that happened while we're
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that
Go for
subject
it.
before we?
Yeah,
Because
go
I
for
want to
it.
talk about Autobahn. I
Well,
do
we
want
don't
to talk
have
about the
to. I
actual
know you're
game.
gonna.
No, I
You.
want to. I know you're busting. You're like
I'm not.
ready to. You
I,
are. You're
the
in love with
level of
that game. You're trying to be like in Greece. You're trying to be bloody. What's his face? John Travolta's character, Danny. You're trying to be Danny. You're trying to be like, am I acting too crazy? I got to act cool. I got to act
no,
cool
no,
around this
no.
game.
It. Okay, so um, I know that you might talk about it if you don't play much else. You might talk about it on Board Game
Mm,
BBQ, and the level of
yeah.
my talk versus your talk are completely different. I'm like, oh, it's a
Right.
pretty good game, and I'm done. You're like, ah, oh, it's like playing this game, and it's pretty good. They got a good system, and da da da. da. I'm like, that's way more than I would have ever said. Find out for yourself, fool. You're like, it's like Concordia, and like our level of engagement with people about that kind of stuff is completely different. I don't really talk
Right.
too much, I guess, about that stuff.
Yeah, and sometimes I say a whole bunch of stuff about a game, like on social media, and I can tell that no one cares. They don't really care
The
that
response
much.
is cool.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Thanks for that like novel that you just wrote about this
Yeah,
game you
but
played
ask
once.
them how soon are they going to get theirs? How all in are they? I bet you'll get all kinds of conversations like,
Oh
"Oh, mine's
yeah,
going to
then they'll
go."
be like, yeah, I'll ask them where they're going to put it on their shelf, you know?
Yeah, are you going to? So are you going to store it vertically or horizontally?
Yeah, yeah, and
Do
will it face left or right? And can you send me a picture of the space it's going to
you
fill?
have baggies for all the stuff? Are you going to sleeve it?
Yeah,
All
are you
that
going to put it
superficial talk.
are you going to put it like by publisher or by color or
Yeah, that's how you get engagement.
yeah,
Okay,
100%.
so
Okay.
tell me about the
So
shitty
the
thing.
thing.
Since you
Well, you
probably
already
can't
know
talk
about
about
it.
it over there, I assume.
Well, okay. So this is the worst part about it. Okay. So in the last week, this designer, I already said his name. So it's Julian who designed Julian Pombo who designed Pampero.
And his address
I've talked about
is
that game so much, how much I like it. I've freaking playtested his games. I playtested his robot game that's coming out. It takes like 5 hours to playtest this fucking thing. Wasted
mhm.
those evenings.
Ouch. I
Um,
remember you wanted me to play it really bad.
I did.
You're
I
like, this is good.
really believed in the dude. I was like, you're the next Lacerda, I reckon. Like, these are like Lacerdas, but weirder.
Mm.
Now I hate saying anything like that. I take it all back. Don't listen to me. He's crap. He's crap. So, anyway, I just posted, this was in the Board Game BBQ Discord. I just posted that there was an expansion I didn't know about. And I'm like, how are we going to pay for this? Or, something dumb like that, just a joke thing. And he writes back, oh, the money won't be due until such and such. Shake your money maker.
hmm
And I'm like, what? Did he really just say that to me? It's so weird. It's such a weird thing that would pop into someone's head. Like, okay, let's say it's a joke. I'm sure it is to him a joke. That's a weird thing to pop into somebody's head
Hmm.
after
It is
talking about a Kickstarter.
right.
I've
It's
kind of a messed up sense of humor, but I think that is kind of
well,
next
it
level.
is the type of humor that you would have in mixed. It's like it's toxic mixed company humor. It's humor
Right.
that you would have in mixed company, but it's not humor that you should have in mixed company with someone who isn't intimately close with you. I think.
Right.
I don't know, or something like that.
It's
It's
like a small
old
group. Are you
school.
trying to say it's a small group thing? It's a
Well,
small
it's
group
more than
thing,
that because it's small
not a
group, but
public
then
thing.
even then it's wrong because you have to have a real good a real good relationship with that other person to have let those boundaries be brought down enough to be able to say stuff like that. And even then, I mean, humor between two people, it's their own thing. You can't really judge them for that, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And like we have teased each other about things in the past, but not never of like a sexual nature at all. And I was like, that's a really like that seems totally left field. And so and then I was in this like super awkward position because the board game barbecue guys do not like
Hmm.
anything political whatsoever. Nothing at all. So then I'm like talk about put me in a weird situation. It's like this is something I'm not comfortable with, but I'm also not comfortable in saying anything about it because then I'm gonna get in, you know, I'm gonna get like potentially blamed for causing someone to be upset in the Discord. It's like, well, I didn't mean to cause him to be upset. He said this dumb thing.
Right,
Why is it my fault? You know what I mean? It's like that whole victim blaming thing. It's like, great, now I've got to be careful of this person's feelings because of, on behalf of the board game barbecue, because I don't want to tick anyone off.
right.
And no one said anything. I left it for a day because I didn't want to, uh, come out with something that wasn't well thought out because I was a little bit annoyed at the time.
Hmm.
And then I also had somebody say, "Oh, well, aren't you a feminist? Like, how can you not say anything?" And so that's also a massive, a massively like, it's like everyone just tells you what to do, and I'm like, this just sucks on all angles, like on all fronts. It just sucks. I just want to be like respected as much as the next person in board games. Women should be
Hmm.
respected as much as dudes. Attractive people should be respected as much as dudes. Right? You wouldn't say that. Like, why would you say this thing about stripping for a Kickstarter? Like, it's just such a weird thing to say to
True,
somebody.
true.
And I just don't think,
The motivations, who knows? But yeah.
who knows? Anyway, so all I said was, like, it's not appropriate. And, you know, I can't remember what else I said. I said it's not appropriate. And then he sort of went, I'm sorry, but if you're offended, then we can't be friends or whatever. And then unfollowed me everywhere. And it's like, well,
Hmm.
that's not an apology. That's a, you know, it's a weird response. That's a weird response.
I'll
Like you
give you that's
can't
a
own
weird
up to what you
response.
did. You can't say sorry. You have to go, it's your problem. I'm out. Bye.
Yeah, that one's a hard one. That one's a tough one because it could be, it could, I don't know the situation, but it could be a genuine apology, except I'm so scared of the idea of a woke person that I have to leave all things and I'm accusing you of being woke, so I'm leaving or whatever. It could be a
Right.
lot of things, but whatever it is, it's not a friend. It's definitely not a friend because a friend would just like, okay, I'm sorry, man. You know, let's go on.
So I'm a woke person because I don't like when people say sexist things to me.
Right.
Right. Makes
So
sense.
that would be my guess. I don't know. I really don't
Yeah,
know.
who
That
knows? Who knows?
I'm
But
grasping at
it's
straws.
I'm glad I'm not that kind of person. Like if I said something dumb to somebody, I would feel like a total idiot and I would say, I'm really sorry. And now I feel like a total idiot.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I'm
would
with
just
you.
admit it. I wouldn't like delete all of my accounts and move into the mountains.
We're not
um,
talking anymore. Done. Bye. See ya. You don't
bye.
exist.
Yeah, it was so weird. Anyway, so then I went to Twitter and people there were really nice, which is lovely. Because I'm kind of sick of it. Like, it's been a while since I got something like this, but I'm sick of the whole you don't like these games and or my logo coming back as a dude because obviously I'm a dude, or and now
Uh,
this. I thought it was all quiet. I thought it would all
well,
settle down.
well, for people who don't understand what you're talking about, you meaning you're tired of people saying women can't be into these heavy games? Is that what you mean? I assume
Yeah, I
that's what
think
you
that's
mean.
well, yeah, basically. Or there's no way you are into it, whether it's the way I look or because I'm a woman, or is it because
Because you wear
of
lipstick,
me
you can't.
specifically,
No, no,
right?
you women can, but not you.
Women
You can,
can, not
but
you
not
though.
you. Yeah, you obviously you're faking it.
Yeah, I'm faking it to get dudes. I thought
Yeah,
everyone knew that.
yeah. You want war game dudes? Or
Oh yeah, totally. In vests, I like dudes in small vests
small vests are
and
the
smelly
best.
t-shirts.
Gross, gross.
Sorry. So that was my week. Anyway, and then okay, so then do you want the other goss, which is the
Yeah,
whole
sure, sure.
quackalope thing, the
I want to hear
drama?
the quack. Is it okay to go public with it? Do you think is
I
it public?
I
Public?
assume so. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm curious. I don't know. I
I'm
don't know
not
if that's
I don't know any of these people.
okay. I didn't know if it was like hidden, shit or not, or whatever. It's
I don't
cool.
know if it's hidden shit. Well, if it is, then we're giving everyone the scoop and we're going to be the next big
Big
thing then,
thing.
I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. Um or alternatively, lucky no one listens to us.
Yeah. There
Um,
you go.
no, so there's been a lot of people complaining, right, about
Hmm.
Quackalope that he releases like everyone gets games right from
Right. Right.
publishers and they're all meant to release their content at a certain time so that it's all going out roughly at the same time whatever, and he
Hmm.
keeps like releasing it early so
Hmm.
that he has the exclusive on it and
Hmm.
everyone's watching his content and it's driving and so basically the other content creators hate him now, and on top of that, so this other thing was Paul Grogan was like in his Slack channel and he doesn't seem to be shy about it because he's talking about it in Discord as well. He didn't say any names, by the way, but just everybody knows who he's talking about.
Right. Right.
And he's and he's having a rant about how certain content creators
Hmm.
get paid for to put out these
Like
previews and
previews and
things.
shit like that. Yep.
Yeah, and shit like that. And Quackalope gets like so many things horribly wrong,
Hmm.
and he doesn't fix it. He doesn't take it down, edit it. He just puts in the comments, oh, such and such was incorrect or whatever. And Paul's like, no one reads the comments and da 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 da. So it's just dodgy, like this is terrible. But he's kind of like coming from the stance of blame the content creator. But from my perspective, I'm like, well, actually, people are sending him stuff and they're paying for him. They already know the quality of his content. It's not like these videos are secret. You can go
Hmm.
and watch them. So
Hmm.
surely they can do their due diligence and have a look at his videos and see what he's doing and the way he, you know,
Hmm.
releases things early. They see all of that stuff, right? All they care
Right.
about is the numbers. They care about the audience. They probably like that he releases it early and then he gets this, he gets all these people like flooding in to look at the latest thing.
Hmm.
So they're still doing that. I would say it's on them. They're hiring him and he's just putting out his, like, if it's low quality, it's low quality.
Hmm.
Everyone knows it. That's his, he's not
That's his
pretending to be
niche.
anything else. So I don't know. I don't really blame him so much for it. I don't. What do you think? I don't know. Tell me.
That might be the instance where you're blaming the player, not the game. It's stacked against Grogan. If he wants to do better material, he should just be happy that he does better material.
Right.
I don't think that it's a place to attack another content creator. I don't think you're necessarily making the content creator space better by calling it out, but you might be. I don't know. I'm all new to this. I don't know what the
Yeah.
right stance is, but my stance would be to tell the public that you're going to get what you pay for.
Yeah.
If you get my content, I'm gonna struggle to make it as perfect as I can, and I'll retract things. I'll do all those things, and just be wary that not everybody feels that way, and that's the best you can do. You can't really blame the publisher. Well, let me put it this way: we had this discussion on Twitter about rules the other day. A very
Mm.
quick little thing. Somebody complained about where the rules are put in a rule book, and they're like, it's like put rules, and then they tell you where to put them. instead of putting them in examples or whatever, right?
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
So the question is, well, how many rule writers are watching your tweets versus rule readers? So that my stance would be, tell the rule readers that, remember, when you're looking for answers, that some idiots put it in the examples and don't put it in the rules. So just remember that. Like, sometimes they're misplaced. So when you're
Right.
looking through your rule book, remember, if you're in a mad dash to find a rule, go ahead and look in the examples too, because it could be hidden there as well. Like, that's what you need to say. You
Right.
if your complaint is, hey, I don't want them in, I don't want them in the examples, it's too late. They're already there. Like,
Yeah.
in the future, please don't do that. But remember, rule readers, this is where the fucking writers put them. So keep looking. So this is one of those things where
Yeah.
how many content creators are listening to Paul Grogan? How many publishers are listening to Carl Grogan? How many people who actually take in content are listening to him? So more people that are taking content are listening to him. So it's them
Yeah.
you're talking to. So you need to talk to them and say, look, sponsor the content you want to see. If there's someone out there making the content that you don't want, or getting the rules wrong, and it bothers you, don't follow them. Don't watch their stuff. Affect their numbers at the bottom line, and support the people who do it right in your eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the stance that you should
I
take.
think that I mean I agree with that, and I think that that's what the numbers show. People who want to buy the next thing just because they're probably going to watch Quackalope because they can't wait. They're those people that just can't wait. They're there on day one. They're like, "Quick, he leaked something. What is it? Let's look at it. Let's
But
order it right now."
okay,
And
so
the people that actually want to get a good game and they want to like see what it's all about and they want something in depth, then they'll watch Paul Grogan. So
like okay, so take Autobahn. If I was look, when I was interested in Autobahn, I
see,
wanted
you're obsessed with
I
it.
would look and see who made content for them.
Hmm.
There's two parts. One, who made content, and two, how how where is it listed at in BGG? If it's too low, I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to scroll too far. It's got to be like the first four. But on the first four, who's the best on the first four that I'm going to check out, depending on what I want to know. Now, if I
Right.
had kickstarted it, which I didn't and I wouldn't, but if I was a Kickstarter, I would want material quickly. But I'm not going to take anything they say as gospel, because I just want to know about the game. That's it. I just want to interact with the game. I bought it. I want to talk. I want to listen about it. Like, to me, I'm kind of talking to the person about it.
Mm.
But if I wanted to know rules, then I would go to the trusted rule people.
Yeah.
But
The trusted rule people.
trusted rule people, like, Paul Grogan's one, I would consider, the what's his name, Rodney.
Rodney Smith.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
he
would.
doesn't teach any games that
I know. I'm
you
just
like.
talking. Sometimes you can find, like, if you're doing war games, you can find like the actual designer will talk about how to play it and stuff.
Yeah,
But
that's a cool idea.
yeah, I okay, so I read Autobahn. I didn't fucking listen to anybody's rule thing, and if there is one out there, I'm sorry. I didn't check it out.
Didn't check it out.
I didn't check it out. I did watch somebody's preview about the game to make sure that it would be something in my wheelhouse that I'd want to own it.
Yeah.
But I didn't take any rules they said and took them as gospel. Definitely didn't.
Yeah.
And anyone who does, let's say I own a game and I've gotten the rule wrong 100% of the times when I've played it, but I like the game. Okay, so there's an absolutist part of it that says, well, you should always get the rules right, but it's my game. I can play it how the fuck I want to.
Yeah.
So does it matter? In the end, if I never find out a rule is wrong and I play it, and you know that
Yeah.
the rule is wrong, you're Paul Grogan, you've seen the video that I learned the video from, I know how to play this game wrong. Me and my friends have a good time. The 5 times out of our whole lifetime we ever played this game, we had a good time.
Yeah.
What harm is being done, I wonder?
Ignorance is bliss, I think.
I
If
live in
if
that
you don't
space.
know right, if you don't know that the rule is wrong and you're just having a good old time, then it's
Well, yeah,
all
okay.
good.
This goes to the polling thing. If you put a poll out, right, and you say, do you want a content creator to get the information right every time? The poll should say yes, 100%, everybody. All content creators should research the rules and get the rules exactly right. Okay, let's put that in practicality. If they don't get it right and I don't know that it's wrong, does it hurt me? No, it doesn't hurt me at all. If I like the game either way, I might even like the game better with the rules wrong. Might like
Yeah.
the game worse. Don't know. Of
Yeah.
the 5 times I interact with the game, what kind of an impact is it? I mean, really, what kind of an impact is it? I think, yes, you should get the rules right, but there's reality. What does it matter in the end? If this isn't my top 10, or if I got the rule right, it's not going to make my top 20 or top 25. It's just another game on my shelf of my 300 games on my shelf. That one rule is wrong in that one game that's in the pile of 300.
Yeah.
What I don't
You're
understand. I
not
mean, I can
hurting anyone.
understand Paul
Yeah.
because it's his job, but on my side, the player, I want to get the rules right. But if I'm really honest with myself, it's not going to matter in the long term unless it's a good, really, really, really good game. Then you know, I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find why everyone's so upset. So, like, why they all hate Quackalope now. But okay, all right, here we go. What about this then? Okay,
Oh,
you're designing the type of games you're designing, right?
the one
And
game, the one game I made.
and then no, and then you've got other designers who are they come into the scene and they're like, I want to just make light. I just want to churn out light family games. I want to make 30 of them a year and like sell them to Target, whatever their products.
Hmm?
And
It's
yeah,
pretty ambitious,
I'm
but
gonna
yes.
play test them like 5 times each or something. I don't know. How would you make 30 games a year?
Yeah,
That'd be
you
tough.
wouldn't, but
You wouldn't. No one would do
you
that. But
wouldn't.
let's say they did, and they play test them like 5 times, and they go, "Yeah, that'll do. It's all good. I got them signed."
It's an arbitrary large
What would
amount,
you think?
an arbitrary short amount. Like
Right.
arbitrary large amount of games, arbitrary
Essentially, I'm
short
saying,
amount of
imagine a
yeah,
designer that's completely the opposite of you. How do you
right.
feel about that designer? I'm trying to just say you're the Paul Grogan, and there's another like Quackalope designer out there
Well, you see, that's
churning. What? How would
there's
you feel?
I'm of two mindsets. The professional, how I want people to perceive me. I only say these things so that people know where I stand, not that I really care. Like if I talk about like my favorite game, Dominant Species, I'm not talking about Dominant Species so that everyone who plays Dominant Species is on the same wavelength as me. I'm talking about Dominant Species personally because I want you to know that when you pick a game that I may have worked on or that I like, that here is where he's coming from. He likes this style of game. So if I like that style of game, I might jive with him on this. Or if I jive on this, I might like some of his top 10. And Dominant Species is on that. So it would go along those lines. I would be like, I don't really like what this dude does. I don't respect the way he churns out these games, but I'm only saying that so that you know that I don't do that. In a private setting, I could probably hang out with that person and drink beer and totally have respect for what they're doing. They're doing their job, you know?
Yeah.
It's only a public persona for me because I just want people to know how to align with me.
Okay, so maybe that's what Paul's doing. Maybe he's
Maybe.
saying, "This is how you align with me because I
Yeah, this is
think
how
I'm
you
better
align
than
with me. If
Quackalope.
you right, if you believe
If
in
you
these
think you're
things,
better than Quackalope, then listen to me." I'm kidding. I really like Paul. He's a cool
I do
guy,
too.
and yeah, he does do awesome stuff.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's the big drama going on.
two
I
big
wonder if it
dramas.
makes any difference at all in terms of who's going to watch Quackalope, because I bet it doesn't. I don't think it does.
It might. It might make
I reckon.
small amount of numbers different.
I don't know. Like you said, I think the audience is probably a totally different audience, and they might not even know anything about the
Right.
drama.
Or it might be part of the 5 people they listen to. So it's just part of the 5. Like I've got a list of podcasts I watch. I mean, I
Mm.
listen to watch. I have a list of podcasts I watch, and let's say if the same guest had rotated on all the podcasts, right? It wouldn't stop me from listening to each one because they all release in different days, and those are what I do on those days. On Monday, I listen to one. On Tuesday, another one gets released. It doesn't matter what the content is, and sometimes I hate it. Sometimes it's horrible episode. I still listen
Yeah.
to it. I got to get through it.
That's so funny. You're
Yeah, it
like a
got bad episodes.
completionist with podcasts. I'm not like that at all. I'm like,
I
nah, I
gotta
don't
have
like this one.
something. I gotta have
Bye.
something in the background going on, and sometimes if I'm working or something, I don't have time to look for something else. So we'll get through the bad
Stick with it.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, I've got like all these like unfinished podcast episodes in my Spotify.
Mm.
They're all, yeah. Anyway, so do you want to talk about Autobahn now?
We can a little bit if you want.
Oh, you don't want to talk about it?
We can
Because you don't
talk
want to
about it,
start. You
but
don't want to start gushing.
I'm not gonna gush. I think it's a really good game. I'm used to modern Euros being a little friendlier, less
Hmm.
interaction, more me building stuff, you build stuff, and we race for victory points. I'm not used to this style in the modern Euro space, so I like it. I like there's a lot of interaction. Points is money. There's only one way to really make points, and that's to do other stuff to make it good. Um, I don't necessarily like the Concordia unoriginality thing, but it works, so I'm
Yeah.
fine with it.
Yeah. It works, and it's like you have the same actions as me, kind of thing, but
Hmm.
we have just like one color in each. And I love that there's only one color in each because it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I can't focus on one color. I've got to bring my cards back, kind of thing. That's cool. It's very tight. Like that whole action thing is tight.
yeah.
Um, I don't necessarily think it's that interactive. I don't think it's as interactive as you
If you
do.
build the road, okay, you build one road, then I decide from that road that you built, do I finish off the road? Do I place the station on that road? Or did you build that road because I've already wasted my card in that thing? So, like, there's three actions at least that are tied to that one road being built.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that interaction per se. Like, yes, there is definitely weird timing around the rounds and what you're doing and open
Mm-hmm.
you got to be careful of opening up opportunities for the other person,
You can't,
I
like,
guess,
okay,
but it's not
in a two lane road,
you're
you
not
can't,
actually messing them up.
you're not really messing. Okay, so you give them opportunities, so it's like the opposite of limiting them. So, but every action you do pretty much gives them more choices. It's rare when you give them less choices, and
Yeah,
when you do give them less choices, um, it's it, it actually doesn't because it just opens up a different a choice.
yeah,
So
it matters what people do. It matters
yeah.
100% what other people
So how's
do,
that not
and you have to
interaction?
go because I'm not moving your trucks. I'm not
Mm,
moving your trucks. I'm not messing with you. I'm not like removing your roads from the board. I'm not doing any of that stuff with
mm,
I'm just not messing with your stuff at all. But I do have to think about what you are going to do, which is really
mm.
cool. And I like the timing. Like that last era, we had so many things we wanted to do, and we just wanted to like move those pills. We did. We wanted to move pills, but then we were both so scared that we wouldn't get the roads. We were both building roads instead.
Roads
We
have to be
both
built,
rushed
baby.
it. We rushed it. Why did we rush it? Couldn't we just agree that we just wanted to take everybody their pills?
It depends if that agreement is binding, then no. But I'll agree with you all day long if it's not binding.
Yeah, I do. I really love that it's that you got to think about, oh, what are the other people doing? Like if you were just doing a lot of deliveries, then I would have done that too, and I would have been, trying to like I was trying to do that whole thing from Berlin, pills from Berlin to where was it?
Paris.
No, it wasn't Paris.
Paris was the
It
double
was
move.
up the top. No, it was I was trying to do a little quick one. Just
Oh,
like
okay.
bam, bam, bam. Just keep taking pills and
Mm.
getting like achievements because the only way you can get points in the game was that's the best part for me. The only way you can get points is to get achievements.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you just got to focus on that. It gives you something to focus on because the rest of the game is like, I want to do everything. I want to do everything. And then it's like, oh, okay, I just need to focus on what's going to give me achievements. Okay, rein it in, rein it in.
One of the differences is that in a lot of games, there is this thing where if I see you do something, I might let you do it and I'll do this other thing and I might just try to screw you on that thing.
Mm,
Like, let's say you're going to make a bunch of gas depots or petrol stations, whatever, right?
yeah.
And in another style of game, I might just screw with it a little bit, but I'm going to do my own strategy. In this game, whenever I see you do that, I need to do it too because you're going to limit me being able to do it. So it ends up being this thing where when I see you do something, I need to do it too. And modern Euros usually aren't like that. It's like you do something and I do something completely different. If we go and race the same thing, we're just going to give somebody else the win. But that
Well,
could
that's the
also
cool
be just
thing.
a two-player.
That's also what Concordia feels like to me. And also in Concordia, the clever thing about that is if someone's built on the city before you, then you have to pay more, right? You have to pay
Yeah.
even more. So it gets really friggin' expensive. So
Mm.
that part's really cool. Actually, that tension sort of stresses me out in a game. I don't
Mm.
necessarily love it
Mm.
when I feel like I have to chase what the other person's doing. I don't
Right.
necessarily think that's a great feeling.
Mm.
Um,
I like
but it's
that feeling.
interesting. It adds a lot of tension to the game for sure. But I definitely don't want to just be like, oh, I'm on the back foot, and then you feel like you're on the back foot. Especially not in a game, like especially not in that because you were first player. I don't want to feel like I've literally just been chasing you the whole game and trying to do what you were doing.
Right. But it's got that interesting thing that other games have where, like, in other games, it's like a market. You'll break into the market, and the second person gets the advantage. You open up the market, second person gets the advantage. And it's sort of like that here. I built
Yeah,
the first segment of a road. Well, then you get the choice to build on that road and finish the road, or you get to put the station down.
the
And putting
petrol
down the
station.
station, if you have on the unlocks, is like really, really good because then you get like all these bonuses and shit. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Well,
really
that's
cool.
the yeah, that's the clever thing about it for sure is the whole um yes, I'm opening up an opportunity for you, but then looking at where your cards are at and I've set up an opportunity in orange and you don't have your orange card. So
Right, right.
tough
And
luck
then
for you.
but it's so there's so much stuff to do that sometimes that doesn't align where like I might screw you in orange, but I also my best move is not to do the thing that screws you in orange. My best move is to do
Yeah.
this other thing, so I got to make that choice. And the
Yeah.
second part of doing a road is by finishing off a road, if you have stuff loaded, it gives you the opportunity to go ahead and deliver. Like you can have your
Mhm.
trucks. Like when you did that, that upset me quite a bit. You had a truck that was just sitting out there ready to go. Like the
Yeah.
roads weren't built, the truck was just parked there, ready to go into where it needed to go, so you can get the bonuses. That was
Yeah.
something that when I played with Brian, he never did. He was
Right.
chasing efficiency, so for him, it would have been an inefficient move to build a truck and just park it there because it's just
Oh, but
sitting there.
it wasn't though because yeah, it depends on what your hand looks like, I guess. Because
Yeah,
obviously you get, you want to take up your cards the least amount of times, really, because that's a crappy action just to take your cards back.
yeah, but
So
that it doesn't
ideally,
allow
that
you
is
to.
efficient. So Brian thinking his other way was more efficient
Maybe
is
it just
missing
it
out on
really
that efficiency.
it really depends because not taking up your the money can be tight if you never take up your cards. If you never take up your cards, you're fighting something completely different, and that is money per actions and how to make sure that you have money. Like by taking up the
Right.
cards, you do free up your freedom, but you do become more like you free up the ability to do stuff later, but you're focusing on only a small amount of the game. Like I'm only
Right.
building orange roads,
But the
so
more
I'm
you put
picking
it
up.
off, the more money you
Yeah,
get. So
yeah,
again, you don't want to do that. And you want to make sure that because your trucks, this is the other genius thing about the game is the trucks will move on their colored roads if you play that color card. And of course, they're going to be going across these different colored roads. So they're going to
right,
need like two, maybe three different colors to move. So you want to start them off so that when you then put those three colors down, they're going to move with your cards and you don't,
right. But then
you want to do that efficiently too. So there's,
well, but the other part that sucks is that when you start on a well developed road, you go faster. But if you end your movement on a completely developed highway that all the colors done, the only opportunity you have to move that vehicle is by loading in that same color. So the more developed the road is that you end your movement on, the harder it is to move it. So you
yeah,
have to put your car on halfway developed roads, and hopefully they don't finish because that gives you an opportunity to develop the road and move the truck at the
and move
same
it.
time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're in my situation where I had trucks on roads that are well developed, and the only way that I could get them to move is by loading the opposite truck. And I
Yeah.
just thank God I didn't put them on the same color. Then I would have lost goods by, having to reload one of the trucks, and that would have moved the other truck. So I had to play some stupid game. But
Yeah.
that was just that thing where it's not intuitive in that like when you're playing, you think, I'm going to end up on this road that's fast. And you're like, hey, wait a minute, the road's all developed there. I can't use certain
Yeah.
cards on that road except
To
to
move it
load.
along.
So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I did that okay. Like I think it took a while to get it, but then I was like, oh no, I think my truck game's strong now. I was happy with my truck game. I really liked the game a lot. I want to play it again for sure. I do think it'll be weird with more than two, maybe, or just weirder.
So I'm
I think
thinking
it's just
it'll
going to be
be
harder
pretty
to
good.
predict when is the round going to end and what am I going to get to do, and then it'll be much more like, oh, I just didn't do
Yeah.
the thing that I wanted to do. It's going to be so frustrating
I think
in a good
I
way.
think if you strategize, you're gonna have to strategize less, do more tactics in more of a
Yeah.
player game. But that's without playing it. Maybe it opens up something differently that we can't see when you play in between two people that are playing in front of you. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just the
I think you're right
opportunities will
about
be
the
different.
tactical thing for
That will
sure.
go tactical instead of strategic. But I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's probably more talking about Autobahn than I
Yeah.
personally wanted to do, since I don't
Did that
like.
exhaust you?
Yeah, dude, I was like too much talking about nerdy game stuff.
Ew, nerdy
No,
games.
no, I liked it. I really liked it. I've been talking about it a lot over the last week, and I was really anxious to play it. And I'm glad that I've got 4 plays in it. That's really good for me.
It's pretty good for like a week
Yeah, that's pretty
or
good for
two.
2 weeks. Yeah, from one
Yeah.
Saturday played it once, and then the next Saturday played it twice that Saturday, and then
Yeah.
you're in my play, which was on Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And you're like, I got to teach you. I got to teach you. I got to teach you.
yeah, I've been dying to teach you.
Yeah.
I
It's a
was
good
afraid
teach
that my
bait.
enthusiasm would scare you away.
It yeah, it was borderline. No, well, I mean not really, but I get that. Like I sometimes people
Calm
set
your
a
tits.
really high expectation, and no, you didn't really do that. It was good.
Yeah, I like the amount of. Okay, so all of the bonuses that you can get and tie them together, it really reminds me of Lacerda type stuff.
Yeah,
Like, but it doesn't play
that
like a
was very
Lacerda,
Lucetta. No, it
because
doesn't. Way less
Lacerda,
complex.
yeah, Lacerda stuff. The way you align your bonuses is way more complex, but it does have that weird. You can make a good turn
Yeah, you go
that you can
boom,
set
boom,
up.
boom, bonuses. Oh my god, it was so funny when we got halfway through, and you were like, "Are you ready for another rule?" That was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? We're
It
halfway
wasn't
through the game
anything.
right now.
It wasn't anything detrimental. It was something that
No,
was
it
only
wasn't.
effective
It
at
wasn't that bad.
the last
It
round. It was
wasn't.
something I was saving for you.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
So, is there any more drama? Is there any
I
more?
think that's about it. We've got a couple of things that we should mention
Yeah, go for
actually,
it.
because we have a new Discord server, which is
Yeah,
the Nude
definitely
Cubes.
join.
We should put it in the. I think it's in there, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's in the
yeah.
description.
I put it in the description to join.
Cool.
I don't know
Join
if anyone's
us.
ever joined from just a video. I don't know. I know, like,
No, how would we
who
know?
knows? By asking.
Yeah,
When
but
you
I
go
don't
in, you
always
have one of those
ask.
annoying polls that say, "Where did you learn about
How
our
did you?
Discord?"
Yeah, or like when someone comes in, you're like, "Welcome. How did you hear about us?"
Yeah.
Yeah, can't be bothered doing that. But oh, I did think it was nice that someone joined to playtest Conflict of Plants, and then he was like, "Oh, I don't use TTS," and then I was like, "Oh, I don't know where to go from there."
Oh. Okay. So
You're not
we
allowed
do.
in unless you know TTS.
No, there's a vassal module which is a lot easier to learn it on, that I built a long time ago. Hopefully, it's updated. If not, I'll just have to relearn to do vassal and put it on there, or pay someone
Oh,
to do it.
that's
It's,
cool. Do you remember when I
yeah,
thought Vassal was made by Vassal?
yeah, I do. I do
Yeah,
remember that.
someone told me that he is a programmer, and so
Yeah,
then I
like,
put those two things together.
I think you're not the only one who's ever thought that,
Yeah,
unless they looked at the way it was spelled.
right.
But other than that, yeah, mostly people just talk about both of those things. They don't see them written down. They just say, "Oh, it's on
Right,
Vassal
exactly.
and
Tried to avoid it,
Vassal War
really.
Games." Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah.
Oh, and the
So
other thing, we were talking to Tool in the Discord server, and he loves werewolf movies. I've almost said games. There aren't enough werewolf games though,
I think he
apparently.
just likes horror movies, but werewolves are his
Yeah,
particular fancy, I think.
yeah. So he's going to come next week, hopefully, and talk
And we'll
about
be
werewolf
chatting
movies.
about werewolf movies.
And I'll be just sitting there going, "Oh, yes,
This will be my opportunity to
interesting."
talk about how much I hate One Night Werewolf. Absolute fucking hate it.
I don't hate it.
It is the
I
worst
don't
thing
hate
ever
it.
made.
No, it's not.
It's
I
random.
disagree.
We're talking about a One Night Werewolf, the one that has an app.
Yes, I
Yeah,
know.
it's random.
You're
It,
random.
it, it can come
You,
absolutely
you.
random where you
It's
can't
meant to
like
be random. It's meant to be random.
no, not like
Yeah,
who's random
everyone
is the
gets.
wolf. Like there is a part that of the deduction part that it can't be deduced. It's completely random. I forgot what it was. Like I was like, okay, so I'll play this stupid game. I didn't already like it, and then it's like, hey, wait a minute. If you were to deduce this stuff, it's completely random. This one section, I don't remember it well enough. I just know that I don't like it because it's not even gamey. It's worse than gamey. It's like rolling a die.
It's
Why don't
not
we just
true.
roll die?
That's not true at all. You know what
There
roles
is a
are in
state.
it?
There
No.
no,
Oh,
there's a
all right,
state that can
fine.
happen.
There's multiple roles, right?
Right,
There are
right.
multiple roles.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are ones that like this role acts exactly like a werewolf but isn't, and things like that. So, yeah, you can
Mm-hmm.
have weird situations, but it's not random. You can
We had
still
a
figure
weird
out stuff.
situation where there was no way at
But
all
you're
that could
not
be
meant to
deduced.
deduce it because people are meant to be good at lying. You're not really meant to deduce it.
Then it's no point of being a game if you can't deduce it. That's part of being a game is the deducing part.
No,
That's the
because if
game part.
you're no, there has to be some furriness because there's werewolves. Okay, because you can't. Obviously, you don't want to just deduce it because then it's like, oh well, I know it's this, or I know it's that. They're the goodies, they're the baddies. You're meant to get it
I
wrong sometimes, otherwise
I
the werewolves
disagree.
would never
You should have
win.
it should be a logistic puzzle and it should be about timing. Can you
Babe,
get it done before the werewolf gets you?
just play Search for Planet X if you just want a
Yeah.
logic puzzle.
Uh-huh.
You know what? This surprises me because you are so into reading other people and and also confusing the shit out of everyone at the table. So I thought that this would be like right up your alley playing a game like this.
No, definitely not. This game is like a regular werewolf, like not One Night Werewolf, the regular werewolf game.
It's the same
I'll
as
play
that,
that.
but
No, it's not.
really short. It's the
It's
same.
not be that in shortening it, they removed some of the logic puzzle of it and made it to where there is states that it can get into, which is completely random. There's no way you have the information to be able to
Babe,
guess who the robot
you
is.
can't. You're not meant to have the information. People are meant to lie. Okay. It's not a logic puzzle. People are meant to lie to you.
Well, then I don't like it. Done.
Okay.
It's dog shit
Sure. All right.
for
Fine.
me.
It's dog shit.
I'm
That's
not. I'm
fine.
not. I'm not here to have a party with you and we can just drink. We don't need to play this shit. We can just drink.
This proves that thing that I said we were talking about something in the Discord, and you said you wanted perfect information.
Hmm.
You don't
All
want
the
any
time.
wild cards. And I'm like, you want to be the wild card.
Yes, I
You want
do.
to be the only one who's lying, and you want
Yes.
everyone else to
Yes.
be telling
All,
exactly the truth and absolutely everything.
it's my world. You're just in it.
The Mo world. Welcome to
Yeah.
Mo world.
I yeah. Two people playing like me playing random and somebody else playing random. That's a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. Only me. Only me.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So what else? What else you got?
Um.
What other strange pornos have you heard about?
No. Do you have access to the Discord right now? There was some stuff I put about this episode, and I just put it on there to possibly talk about. I don't know if you have
Oh,
access to
you
it.
did. Well, the rule book thing you wanted to talk about.
Oh, what rulebook thing? I can talk about what happened, the conversation that I had about rulebook stuff,
Yeah.
and that I
Tell
kind of
us.
already had it right about
Well,
the
you condensed it into like 3 sentences.
yeah. Well, okay, so that just made me think about something. Okay, so if you're on
Okay.
Twitter, okay, so people have this thing about taxes, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about taxes for a second. Okay, boring subject. People on Twitter who are publishers, small publishers, were talking about writing off their games in taxes.
Right.
I'm gonna make an argument for not talking about that. Don't talk about it. I know you're not gonna like there's people who don't want to pay taxes, whatever the fuck you want to do, however you want to, whatever white collar crime you want to do, just whatever. But don't talk about it on Twitter. And the reason why is because, and goes back to that philanthropy thing.
Yeah.
If you bought into democracy and you believe in democracy and you're all for freedom of speech, part of that is you have elected officials, and if you have elected officials, you're paying taxes for the community to come up with what's the best way to spend that money. Now, obviously, it's not a perfect system, but whatever the system is, you're paying into that system. You reap the benefits of that system, so why not pay
You
into
should
that
just be
system?
happy. Yeah. You should
Yeah,
just be happy. I'm glad that
right,
my
and
taxes go to something.
right. So if you don't want to pay taxes, and I can understand being a cheap, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, definitely not saying I'm perfect. Don't talk about it. I don't talk about how I evade taxes if I'm evading taxes.
Yeah.
Just like it would be more likely for me to see online to bash somebody for talking about flagrant drug use over here's how I cheat my taxes, you know. But
Mm,
how you cheat your taxes more directly affects me, I think, than how much weed you smoke. So, for me, I would rather
definitely.
you not talk about how you evade taxes because you buy board games. Because for me, that really it's funky for a small publisher to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is like it's one of those classic jokes that just I don't find funny kind of
What's
thing.
that?
You know, there are just like some jokes that people just say just to like be a normal person.
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
just like a standard. I call them like standard jokes. You know, that's just one of those standard jokes joking about that. I don't know how
Yeah,
many times I've heard the exact same thing. People saying they're going to write off their games or they're going to write off an Essen trip, and
yeah.
you
That
know what
whole
I
thing.
mean? It's like
Yeah,
so done. And I just don't think, and I think it's cool that you think about it and go, hey, that's really not cool, and think about, what that really means, because they're definitely not. They're not
yeah. They
thinking
don't
about it
care.
like
They
that.
don't care. They
That
what?
no, they just think it's a funny joke for some reason, even
Yeah,
though 800,000 people have said it before.
right. And it doesn't benefit. Okay, so you can I guess you can identify with someone else who says the same thing, and you guys both are making a superficial connection.
Hmm.
But on the outside, it really is you saying, I want the most from the government and pay the least in. And
Right.
meanwhile, as being a person who grew up not rich, poor and having to use the system in my benefit, I think that it's not too much of the system to want, you know, for me to put my part in when I can. And as a publisher, if the difference between you surviving a quarter and paying your taxes is something you have to reckon with, I don't think it's something you should talk about. It should be. I'm not saying do your taxes. What I'm saying is don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you should pay your taxes, but I mean, I can understand situations where it's difficult and you might have situations and whatever. But it's not cool to boast about it because it comes off as white collar crime, and it does make me see you as an other. I see you as a one percenter or something. I see you as this
Yeah. It's a very
dude that's like,
privileged joke, and
yeah, it's a
it's
privilege
yucky.
thing. And when I have to pay for healthcare in America, when I have to pay for my own healthcare, one of the reasons is because a lot of business owners don't want to pay healthcare for their employees, and one of the ways that they don't, like, besides voting, the other thing they do is not pay taxes, and it's just like all this bullshit. It's like, hey, we want a better world. Um, Paying a little bit, like paying what everybody else pays for a game, it's not asking a whole lot. Just
100%.
writing it off. It's like $5, $4. Come on, cheapo. Just pay
Yeah.
the $4. Fuck it.
Right.
Don't drink
100%.
a extra call. Don't go to Starbucks. Like, go down to 7-Eleven or whatever. Just however you got to do it. Or don't buy the extra game you're not going to play.
Oh, well, that's out of the question.
Oh, that's out of the way. Yeah. I
Well,
was.
it's human nature to like take for granted what we have. Like, there's no way people are paying their taxes and going, this is where my tax money is going. We just don't think about where the tax money is going. We just think that the government's taking my money and I want it
Right.
back.
Right.
I want to take it back.
yeah, I
Yeah.
want to give the least amount, and I want to do whatever tax loopholes I got to do so I can get
Right.
as much money back. And I'm not judging you for that. The part that I'm judging you for is talking about it. Let's not talk about it because it doesn't
Yeah.
come off well. It doesn't come
It
off well
doesn't.
to somebody who cares about the environment, like really cares about the environment. Like that taxes can be used for
Or
programs
cares about
or
people.
yeah,
Anything
yeah.
really.
I I'm a strong advocate for the welfare system. I was a child that grew up in some of that, so I'm not proud of it, but it's something that I've had to deal with.
It's one of the cool things.
Gabriel's scratching
Hey,
his head.
Gabriel.
He doesn't
He's like,
like. He's
oh
like,
boy,
no,
don't talk about this shit.
don't talk
Well,
about taxes.
Australia is like really good for that, I think.
Oh, that's
People
cool.
pay their taxes here. Like you hear a lot about tax evasion in America, but not a lot here really.
Well, can you imagine how many? Okay, so America, they have this thing called like a welfare queen. So the idea is a person will have as many like shitloads of children and live off of taxes, live off of
Octomom.
welfare. Yeah, they have all these children and live off of tax. Like that's that's our horror story. Not that we have a shit ton of people who shave a little bit off of taxes, who don't
No,
pay
no,
into
no,
the
not a
system.
lot of people, but you have like a shit ton of people that don't pay taxes that should, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have a lot of
You have
that,
a
but
lot of
that
rich people that don't,
yeah, but
you
everybody
guys should have heaps
aspires to
more.
be that. Nobody like you're like, well, I don't aspire to be the welfare
The
mom. I
Octomom,
aspire to be,
Trump.
whenever I'm rich, whenever I'm rich,
Spider-Man
I don't
Trump.
want to pay my part.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Oh
I
dear.
get it. I'm not saying pay your taxes. I'm saying don't talk about it. Keep it on
All
the
right, all right.
DL
Don't talk about it. Okay.
because I don't want to hear it.
All right. So I did find the thing that you were saying about rule books, by the way.
Okay,
You
what was it?
said reviewing rule books. Imagine a review that said something like game 8 out of 10, rule book 4 out of 10.
Okay, so yeah, yeah. The That's what happened. What happened is somebody wrote that thing about, hey, in rule books, um, don't put your rules in the examples. Make sure they're in the rules because this is annoying. And apparently, they had a situation where they were playing a game and they were trying to find a rule and they couldn't find it in the heat of the moment. And they're complaining to rulebook writers. And then I, of course, chime in and I say, uh, I don't disagree because I don't disagree. It shouldn't be just in the examples. I agree. Don't just put them in the examples, right? Have them in both places, whatever, but don't just leave them in the examples because people don't look at that thing. I'm not disagreeing with that, but we do live in the real world, and the
Do we?
the rule book you're referring to does have the rule in the example. So a better thing to say would be, "Hey guys, the rules are in the pictures, so make sure to look in the pictures if you're in the heat of the moment." Because it needs to be everybody needs to know this, and the reason why it's important to say that is because more people who read that rule book are reading your content or reading your tweets than the rule book reader. In fact, I'm a rule book writer. There's one guy or two guys that wrote it. They're never going to see your tweet, but more
Yeah, they're
people who are going
probably not.
yeah, more people that are going to interact with your game are going to be people that are going to also read the rule book. So just tell them, hey, you know, some of the rules are in the. Just remember this. Here's a good rule of thumb. When you're looking through a rule book and you're looking for a rule real fast, look in the pictures. Just look in the
Yeah.
pictures too.
See, I don't do that because when I'm in the flow of reading, I don't want to like stop and look at a picture and then read a little caption in the picture. I'm just going to read the next bit. And then if I come back to the example, if I come back, I'll read it then, but I probably won't. I'm not an example person. I'm
Right.
actually on this person's side. Don't put rules in examples. Boom.
Wait, and look, yeah, like I said at the beginning, I am not against that. I am saying do that. But okay, so let me put it this way.
Okay.
This is what I put in the thing. You own a car. Well, this they did, and then I kind of explained it. You own a car. They put the handle in a weird place to open the door.
Mm,
Okay, on the passenger side. You rarely interact with the passenger side, but when you do, you forget that the handle's in the wrong place.
right.
Okay, I am not saying don't put the handle in the right place. Leave it where it's at. But you already own the car. The handle is already in the wrong place.
It is.
There's no
So you
changing
have to,
that.
no, there's no getting around that. Yeah.
There's no getting around that. We can complain
Yeah.
all day long where they should be placed. And
Yeah.
I agree with complaining about that.
Yeah.
but you need to help the people that are being chased by murderers that need that door in the last minute to jump in the car before they get killed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Remind them it's in the wrong place. So in the heat of the moment, when they're about to die,
Yeah.
it's in the wrong place. Remember, door in
Right.
wrong place.
Remember that.
I
Yes.
mean, handle in the wrong place. So I
Yeah.
agree, shouldn't be there. But if
Yeah.
you're gonna die, it's in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Go to that other place.
Go to the other place. I agree.
That's my argument.
Makes sense. So that's it's common sense.
Okay, so
Really.
that's where it started. Okay, so there,
Okay.
talking to Joe from the train rush. I got to drop the name because he'll never listen to
Mhm.
this.
He
We're talking
listens.
about.
He just has to listen to it at 4 times speed or something.
Oh, so I'm all chipmunky. I bet that's fucking pleasant.
Yeah.
Me as a
I already
chipmunk.
sound like a chipmunk. Well, it's also I'm quite delayed as well. So I
Mm.
hope that when he listens to it, I sound like I'm, a little bit more switched on.
I heard he likes the gaps. He likes the gaps between when we speak.
It's like Sarah's slow. Anyway.
Okay, so I mentioned this and I'm like, am I crazy? Because and then we talk about like more people are going to listen to this that are the actual rule book readers, and I'm never advocating for putting the rules in the wrong place. Never going to advocate for that. But the point is, your tweet's going to do best by telling people where the rules are versus where they need to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should say you need to put this on BGG, the tweet. It's not the right place for it.
You know how you know what you should do? You
What?
go and you put in the name of the game, and then it'll
Yeah.
pull up who the designer is. Then you click on the designer, and then it'll show you a picture of the designer. Then you click who uploaded the picture, and then most likely it's the designer. And then it puts his little BGG icon thing on there, and right in the middle of there is an email little fucking icon. And you click that little email icon, and you send them
Yeah.
a fucking letter and say, "Hey, buddy,
Yeah.
who's responsible
Why?
for this?"
Who is the person that uploaded your photos on BGG? Or is
I don't
that
know.
your like code name or something? Is that you?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I gotta go look. Probably. Does it start with an A? If it starts with an A, it was me.
Okay. You got a secret name.
It's not
Code
really a
name on
secret name, but
BGG.
that's what I went by.
Why?
I
Tell
don't
us
know.
about it.
Or
not.
Yeah, I'll talk
Gabriel
about it.
will be able to tell me. Gabriel will tell me why you
Gabriel.
needed
This was
a
after Gabriel.
secret
He
name.
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go to
I'm
that in a
kidding.
second. Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, we're talking about rulebooks. The
Yeah.
thing was, I joked about how he said nobody does reviews on rulebooks. So I'm like, this is what it would be like, and then I wrote that little thing about rating
Yeah.
people's rulebooks.
Would
And the
not
thing
read the rulebook again. Dull. Didn't feel immersed. Do yourself a favor. Skip the rulebook. Watch a video.
Yeah. Would that help? I think it would help if you say, well, the rulebook's really bad here. You should watch so-and-so's video. And then make sure it's not this person promoting their own video.
Yeah.
Well, he brought up, everybody learns rules differently. It's
Yeah.
some of us are global learners. I love the Queen game rule books. Most people don't. Those are all like illustrated for dumb people kind of rule books. And like, I love that. It's like a player should do this. And it's like 2 sentences, and it's got a picture of the person going through all the steps. It's like
Yeah.
IKEA
And the
furniture.
sentences are around, like they don't do like little paragraphs like
Yeah.
this. They're like the whole
really
page like
yeah.
this.
Yeah. It's like it's for people like me. And then like it might even have like icons inserted where words would be.
Instead of writing house, there's a little
Yeah.
wooden house picture.
Yeah. Put this over here, and that's it. It's like, well, what do you want? The alternative of old GMT rulebook where it's like rule 1.1.1, then
No,
da da
I don't
da,
want that.
rule 2.2.2,
Da-da-da.
da da. No pictures.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you really want to know the thing about the
I think
name?
I already know. I'm just teasing you.
I can talk about it. It's fine.
Oh,
I had
you
a
don't have
crazy
to.
I was with a crazy person. And if I
Yeah.
had any online persona, she would have been pissed the fuck off if somebody would have wrote me that was of a female nature and then done.
I have a female nature.
Doesn't have to be a female. She must have a female nature. Boom.
Right.
Done. I'm in trouble.
Any feminine energy at all from anybody. No
I
good.
would have been in trouble.
Yeah.
I would have been in trouble. I got in trouble once because somebody, a female, wrote in a forum, whatever happened to Moe, because I went to school with them, in this year, and I haven't heard anything about him. So at one point, I guess she was doing like Google scouring for my name or whatever, scrubbing my name,
Right.
and she found me. She found that, and she's like, "Well, what is this?" And I go, "I don't know. This is news to me." She's like, "Well, I bet you that was one of your exes, blah blah." Blah. And it was this whole fucking thing just
Oh
because
dear.
some random person wanted to know what happened to me. So yeah, that was a nightmare relationship.
Oh
Nightmare,
dear.
fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm,
that's that. So
okay.
I could be on I was allowed to be on BGG. I was not allowed to be on BGG as myself. So because of that, but since I was on BGG, you put an amount of years on there. You don't just switch profiles later. It's like, oh, I just keep the
No.
same profile because I've got equity.
Right.
We
Did you
got it.
change
Someone's
your
laughing. We
username?
got several laughs at.
Oh
Uh,
dear. What
there's
happened to Mo? I'll tell you what happened to Mo. He got he got with a psycho ex and he had to like erase his existence from the planet.
pretty much.
But
That's
he's
why.
actually alive. He is really alive, just sort of.
That's That's why I've got weird names on weird platforms because I had a psycho ex. If it
Yeah.
was up to me, all of it would be Mo Canales and I would just be myself. But, it is what it is. I don't want to start all over.
No, that's fair.
If a new platform comes out and replaces Facebook, it'll be either the board game group or Mo, one of the two.
Yeah. Anyway,
Who
that's over
who
now.
is
Topic.
Faz?
Isn't that the other Gabriel? I think we've got two
Do we have both
Gabriels.
Gabriels on?
I think we do.
Uh-oh.
Dual
The good
Gabriels.
Gabriel, the
I
good
might be
Gabriel or the
wrong,
bad?
but I'm
Oh,
pretty
you might be
sure.
wrong. Okay.
I love that. I love how you
Indeed.
assume that I'm wrong. I caught that,
No,
by the way. You're like, yeah, you're probably wrong. There we
no,
go. I told you.
that's why I said you
Double
might be.
Gabriel.
You said might be wrong, and I'm agreeing with you. So I'm losing either case.
Oh, and they're both in Texas.
Yeah. Well,
There you go.
one is from Texas and the other one's from Louisiana, but they're both in Texas.
Right.
It's a big place. But
Did I say
anyway,
from? Didn't I say from Texas? Or, no, I
I
said
don't
in
know.
Texas.
Yeah, they're both in
Yeah, you're
Texas.
right.
That's correct.
Okay, fine. Well, I
Uh,
had to get something wrong, didn't I? Okay, so trick taking games. You reckon that's the new hotness? No
it
more roll and
is.
rides.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Have you not been seeing all the talk
Yeah, it
on?
seems like it's cool. It seems like it's cool to like trick taking games right now.
Right.
I
And
would agree.
the weird thing is like 2 years ago, you couldn't sell a trick taking game in America to a publisher. They
No.
said, we don't want uh worker placement and we don't want trick taking games.
Yeah,
If
trick
you're
taking
gonna
games were like old fashioned and stuff. Now they're like new. Are you sure not campaign games? I don't think so. I think trick taking
mm,
games,
is he coming from the
wargaming
wargaming
world,
world?
maybe. Yeah.
Because he does do a lot more wargaming than, or he's more interested in wargaming than it seems. I don't know. I've
Yeah,
only
in
seen
the
trick taking games.
standard
Okay,
board game
in the indie
arena.
world, definitely trick takers.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about trick takers. When Daniel's talking about trick takers, it's trick taker world. And I'm talking about Daniel Newman. When he's
Newman,
talking
yeah.
about trick taking games, and Space Biff also trick taking games.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all
How does
trick
it
taking games.
make you feel, babe? Because you don't like that stuff. When everyone's doing something, you're like, no, I can't do it anymore.
I've never designed a trick taking game. I've wanted to a few
I don't
times,
mean
but now I
design, I
definitely
mean
don't.
play, because you love playing trick taking games, but now that everyone's talking about trick taking games all the time, does that make you want to not play them?
It makes me not want to play the ones that they're talking about. Let's wait and see which ones bubble up as the number one because
Mm.
they're going to get in this frenzy for the next year. Hopefully, the good ones are the ones that continue to play, and we'll see.
All right,
Mm.
fair enough. When you're going to start an online gaming night group? Oh
That's not.
man,
That's hard to do,
that's a good idea though.
and it's a good idea. I would be
It's a really
down.
good idea.
Um,
Well, would you be though? I mean, you're obsessed with the card cultivation game right
I
now,
would
so I don't
fucking.
know if you could tear yourself away.
It's a card game. We can play with other people.
No, you can't.
I would be down. We would just have to come up with the night and try to organize it. Maybe start off small, maybe do it bi-weekly, like once
Mm,
every 2 weeks, and then if we can get enough people interested. The problem is not really starting something like that. The problem is continuing with something like that. It's
yeah.
always the problem is like people just start like, I don't really feel like going or I don't feel like doing it. But
Yeah.
a nightly. What sucks for you is that at least half of the Discord is Australian. So if we did it on a really cool night like Friday night, it's y'all Saturday night, and that's really not fair to you guys.
No, it's Saturday day. Your Friday night's my Saturday day.
Yeah,
That's okay. I can do
I
that.
don't know. We have to figure it out. Definitely have to figure it out. Maybe we have to do two time zones, or it's a whole day thing. Just show up and or not. I don't know. That's a good
We can
idea
just
though.
go to the beer lobby and then just see who turns up and then play something.
Yeah, I definitely need to start
The,
hanging out there more to
the,
play
the
stuff.
nudist, the nudist
The nudist beach.
beach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
that's what
fellow
we're going to
nudist.
rename it. All right, what else? Oh, a Razzie of board games.
Yeah,
I
I
reckon
don't
that's
think.
such a good idea. That's such a good idea.
Do you
So
know
this
how many?
follows on from like people not wanting to be negative about board games, right?
Yeah, this I don't think like maybe because it's a Razzie. Like okay, so do you know? Go ahead and say what the Razzies are.
They're like the shittiest films, right? They're like
Right. It's
embarrassingly bad films.
yeah, it's an actual
Yeah,
award for the
yeah,
shittiest actor, shittiest film, shittiest
yeah,
leading man and leading woman, I believe. There's
yeah,
like different categories, but yeah, the Razzie every year.
yeah.
And it's
I think it's
some
fun.
people
That's a fun thing to do.
yeah, and some people take it as pride and some people
Yeah,
like hate it. So, it might give people the idea that like, hey, don't take yourself so seriously.
yeah,
Here's an award about you made a really shitty game. It's funny. And it's not like shitty mean, it's like shitty like your trick taker is not really a trick taker, blah blah blah, or whatever. I don't know what the Razzie would be, but you know, it could be something to unite a community, or it could be something that like everybody gets upset about and says
yeah.
this is really shitty. They want to shit on designers.
I don't know many designers that have much of a sense of humor about that kind of thing.
I would love it. I would love a Razzie because it would show that well, one, publicity is good publicity, whatever,
Right.
and if it was something like you made a game that we don't like because, and if it's something I did intentionally, I would love it. I would love
Yeah.
it.
It's like Texas Rails for that discarding mechanic
Yeah,
and chickens.
the worst game with chickens all year long.
Worst
Whatever.
game
I don't
with chickens. The hardest game with chickens. Why is it so
ever made.
hard?
Yeah.
It's just chickens
So you would be
and
down with a
trains.
Razzie.
I'd be down with you getting a Razzie.
I'm
No,
sure
no,
that
I think
people
it's
think I
cool.
deserve it.
I think it's a cool idea. I don't take myself seriously at all. Like not in the slightest. So I think it's a cool idea. I'd be
Yeah.
happy with a Razzie for worst podcaster ever. I
That
think
would
I
be funny.
deserve
They're
that.
like,
I had such a hard time with that video that I did for Scrap, and it's still not good. And it took me so long to edit, and I had to take out 100 ums.
worst Kickstarter
Oh my
preview
god.
ever.
I say
They go,
so many times, and I make a weird clicking sound with my mouth
uh-oh, let's hear it.
sometimes. No, I can't do it on purpose. It just
So
happens.
you just it's
It's
like
natural.
it's a weird glitch in the matrix or something, or is
I don't know. It's click weird. I don't know.
I'm gonna watch it and
I'm the fembot.
like compile all the clicks and just like a video where it's just you making click sounds for
No,
your.
I had to. They took him out.
I
That's what
want
I
the
should have
click
done.
sounds
I
back
should have
in.
taken all the ums and the clicks and put that in a new file
Oh, we
and
could have
just.
made a song.
Oh, that would have been so bad. Anyway, well, who would you nominate for the Razzie?
Okay, in 2023, I haven't played enough.
Oh man, I've
And
got one. I've got
who
one.
who what? Let's see.
That fucking Wonderland's war game.
That would have been
That was
2022,
disaster. Okay.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, not for
Was
this
it a
year.
bad campaign or was it just a bad game, or
It's not a
both? Like,
campaign. It's like
no, I
it's.
mean Kickstarter campaign.
Oh
Like, cause you
shit! I
can
don't
get one
know.
for like Madeira would have got one a long time ago for fucking never
Oh that.
fulfilling and shit. You might
Oh
get one every
really?
year for never fulfilling.
Oh no! I think they did really well, and they did another Kickstarter, and
Mm.
like the production is nice. I'm not going to say it looks bad. It looks pretty. It looks very fancy. There is hope. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm like gonna upset people by saying this because we might have some. Maybe the Gabriel's like Wonderland's War, but it was like 4 hours of just random, babe. 4 hours of random, not like One Night Werewolf, which is like 10 minutes of random.
Yeah, but you got to play it for 5 hours. So like 20 games of random shit.
That's true.
I just want one long game of random, not the same game 5 times of random.
But lying, babe. How do you not like lying?
I can lie in real life. Why do I got to do it in a game? I'm just kidding.
Wow.
All
Wow.
right. So, yeah. So yes,
That would be
Razzie.
my Razzie. That would be my
Mm.
Razzie. In terms of a designer, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't think I have anyone that I don't. Oh, actually, there might be. I know a publisher. A publisher I don't like.
Yeah, but
Can't do.
really, do you do a publisher you don't like, or are you
Is that
trying
unfair?
to just kind of jokingly do one? Like mine would be the same. Like if I was gonna do Newman's work, it'd be kind of jokey because everybody likes his work, you know. But
Yeah.
it's also not my style, so it would be kind of both. I'm not trying to be
Yeah.
mean because he'll always make more money than I'll ever think about making in board game design.
Right, right. Well, I was thinking like a funny one too because these guys are like super popular. I was going to say Garfield because for some reason I just bounce off all of their games, but everyone else loves them.
Yeah, that might be a good one for you
That
to,
wouldn't
put it
hurt
on, to
them.
at least
They
nominate him.
right. It wouldn't hurt them to get a Razzie
Yeah,
at all. They'd be fine with that.
no, that's
Still
true.
laughing all the way to the bank.
True that. True that.
Everyone loves their stuff. Loves it.
Oh, I put something about the Whipple. Do you know about the Whipple?
No, what's that?
The Whipple is an award they give every year for a punishing game. It
Oh, I
started
do
in
know that. You got nominated with the cost,
we won
right?
it. We won it
Oh,
for the
yeah, that's right.
cost, and then the year before was Barrage.
Yep.
So
That makes
it's
sense.
kind of it's kind of it's a for me it's a cool because it's like it's a punishing game and that's kind of the point. But I think it's
Yeah.
sort of like a Razzie, kind of in the fact that this game is really punishing. Is it too punishing? This is the most punishing game we've played recently.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I liked it. The Whipple.
The games for saddest. Well, I think it's a cool thing to do just because you can follow along and you can try them because I like punishing games. It's a good way of getting a new list of games to try out. So what's the one for last year?
I wrote him today, actually. No, yesterday I wrote him. I'm waiting. So as soon as I get email back, I'll let you know. Asking
Okay.
for the last 2 years because
Yeah.
it wasn't out. It wasn't written down. So I don't know if they passed away, like COVID got them or whatever. I don't know.
Oh
I don't
God.
know.
Don't
Somebody
say
in
that,
Portugal
just
was
in
doing it.
case.
I don't know.
Well, Matchstick Girl should win it for whenever that comes out because that
Yeah,
is
I
the
should have won it
most.
every year.
Yeah.
That one should get a Razzie for sure.
Oh my God. It's so punishing. It's so stressful.
So
It got a little less stressful.
I don't understand what Gabriel, one of the Gabriels, is saying about like
There is hope. Maybe Q2. I don't know either.
a quarter two. I don't know.
Maybe it's the new Wonderland's Warp.
Maybe. I don't
Maybe.
know. What are you talking about, Gabriel? Gabriel
Don't
2 or
know.
Gabriel 1?
We're not
You don't
in.
know.
We're not in the know with the Kickstarters.
Definitely not. Yeah. So, is there anything else on that list? I wonder. Maybe, maybe not.
Did you celebrate when you won the Whipple?
Celebrate like there was a group text that we're like, cool, we won the Whipple. Done.
It's fun to say, won the Whipple.
We won the Whipple.
Won the Whipple. No, because then it just went on straight into werewolf films.
How in the fuck did it go to werewolves? How in the fuck did it go from there?
Ian just writes the number one discussion topic should be top 10 werewolf films. All right, here we go. Gabriel saying, I was thinking of Madeira from What's Your Game? It's been 3 years since it was Kickstarter. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
I love that game so much. Oh, man, that's
And
such a punishing game.
did they redo Nippon as well? Wasn't that
Did
meant to
they?
come as
If
well?
if they did,
I
it's
thought
all
so. I thought it was all
it's
part
all
of the same
waiting
thing.
all waiting for Madeira. Madeiras the big holdup.
Oh,
I don't know
boy.
what the fuck is going on. It's like just one of those nightmare things.
Well, it's a nightmare game, so.
Shut your mouth.
Well,
I think we need a new fucking co-host.
Ian,
I'm just putting
Ian's
it out
coming
there.
next week. He can replace me. I'm going to add no value at all to the werewolf
will.
discussion. No,
What
I
about
won't.
what about people who are watching and are going like, I've never seen any of these games. Where's my representation? You're their representation. I mean, I've never seen one of these movies.
Okay, now I'm with you. I'm like, blank look. What? Oh yes, the films.
You're here for the people that haven't seen it
I'll
either.
I'll just ask you questions. Well, I jokingly said to you that I'm not going to have a chance to watch the movie, so now I'm just going to like comb through stills and just check out the different werewolf costumes and just like rate the fur. That's all I can do.
I dig the
I don't have
fur.
time to watch that many werewolf movies in a week. Although that Sleepy Hollow one, not Sleepy Hollow, that's a different movie. The werewolf of some hollow place, Deep Hollow. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Something
That
like that.
sounds kind of cool. I
Yeah.
was looking at them before, and I was like, actually, that sounds all right.
Yeah, there's some good ones. There's some good that snow the one on the I think it's Snow Hollow, is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that one's really interesting because it's like it's also shown from the point of view of one of the guys, and I think he's suffering from being awake too long, and so it's really
Right.
weird. It gets really fucking. You're like stressed. That movie will stress you the fuck out. It really
Right.
will because he's been awake too long.
Oh, it sounds like you, babe.
Yeah, I know. It is how
Yeah.
I feel all the time.
Yeah,
Insomnia.
that's why
Like,
you like the movie. You relate to the dude that doesn't sleep.
yeah. We can talk a little bit about some of the stuff that we were talking about in Discord if you want. If you want to touch on it or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Or
What have we
whatever.
been talking about? We sort of talked about the content creation stuff today, but we
Yeah,
talked more about. Mm.
that's always an interesting one, talking about how free games and ethics and um like I guess I come from a completely me getting free games all the time because I have the board game group and I don't review them, and it's just this weird thing. But then you realize that like, well, you know, sometimes it's a storage issue and they just need to get them out to content creators. And if somebody does see me play it in the board game group, they are likely to ask about it and stuff. So there's that whole thing. But I don't put any value in anything I say. That's for sure. I don't tell anybody, hey, I
Neither
know
do
anything.
I.
They join America. Nobody puts value in what you say, and Australia now.
Get off the bangs. You might get some sleep.
I know. I need to stop taking those energy drinks. Me and Gabriel were talking about the energy drinks. He drinks C3 or C4 or some shit. He says they make him tingle when he drinks it. Like, oh, that sounds
That doesn't
interesting.
sound, yeah, that doesn't sound good. I was listening to a podcast about caffeine, and they said that um, the the energy drinks, they have this other stuff in it that makes it sound like, oh, we have this much caffeine and we've got this other stuff, and it's not going to add to the toxicity level of the caffeine, but actually it does exactly the same thing in your body, and it adds to the toxicity level. So you got to add all of those things together, and that's how much you're getting. But apparently over there in the US you have like this caffeine powder stuff that can basically just kill you with a teaspoon.
Really?
Yeah,
That's not.
it's
Do
got
they,
like
they snort it and
2000.
shit?
No, it's like a supplement. It's a sup, and you
Really?
have it. Well, because caffeine's good before you work out,
Uh huh.
so they're taking it before they work out,
So
but
it's like the opposite of
you can
fentanyl.
die. Yeah, kind
It's
of.
the opposite.
Gives you a boost in it.
Gives you a boost, except you
It's
can
a
still
performance
die.
enhancer.
Oh,
But just
if
don't
anything,
take too much.
I need my performance enhanced quite a bit. Got low performance,
Do you?
especially at work. Especially at work, that's the worst performance ever. I don't know where your
Uh,
mind's going, but
no, don't know. Anyway,
pre work.
so
Yeah, you look at Gabriel saying pre workout, fucking just C
like
fours.
C4. Yeah.
What the fuck? This C4s? I need to try it. I'll get
I
all the
did have
buzz
some
listeners.
recently for that drive to Melbourne. That Red Bull was great. Just one Red Bull each way. It was fine. 9 hours driving. I needed it. Anyway, hymns.
Oh, that's that company. Time to take some hymns.
We got on a totally different. Okay, free games. Back to the free games. Okay, so when I started out being like, you know, reviewer, like I started out with that, my website, and I was just trying to review some games and stuff like that. It was like I was brand new to it, and I like joined Instagram and stuff like that, and it seemed like the aspirational thing was to be in the whole circle that get free games.
Mm,
And I think it took like I think it was the first game I got for free that I had to produce content for, that I was like, oh, this is the worst. This is like
right,
literally
right.
the worst thing ever. There's
Hmm.
like pressure on me to do some, to actually put out content, even if I don't like it. There's pressure on me to play it. I've got to find people to play it. I had to bug my friends to play it. Instead of playing the things we wanted to play, I'm like, I've got this free game and now I have to play it. It is seriously the worst. Don't aspire to get free games. It is shit. It is the least fun thing ever. Just
Yeah.
buy the games that you want to
Well,
play.
also, if you have friends that are content creators, abandon them. Don't be their friends, because then you're gonna get roped
Yes.
roped in to play these fucking games.
Yeah, these dumb fucking games just for their,
You
their
might get
shit, their
lucky
benefit.
and play once in a while. Like, and the worst thing is, okay, so the first thing is, oh, you're lucky. You get first hand at these one games that are going to be out in a month or so, and you get to play them first. Okay, there's a little bit of that, but it's this diminishing returns because the more you're into games, the more discerning you become. The less you want to play crap, the less stuff you're going to want that's going to be just thrown at you. And so it becomes this thing where it's like every week they're sending you some bullshit you don't want to play, and you're forcing it on everybody else, and you just get more and more cratchety.
Yeah. And you get
Cratchety.
like 2 weeks to freaking do it. Two
Yeah.
weeks. And it's like, I can't even play this once in 2 weeks. So then you're
Yeah, I used to
sitting
feel
there having to
so
do,
bad
oh, it's the worst.
telling my
And then you
green
got to
group,
tell them, I
hey,
haven't played it yet. I haven't played it yet. I haven't played it yet. You know?
and they don't want to say make up something, but that's pretty much what they want you to do. Make
Yeah, they
something
do.
to fuck up.
It's like, this is the date. You got to have something out by
Gotta
then.
have something done.
I know like really dodgy people that have just haven't even played it and they're like
Yeah.
reviewing it and they haven't played the game at all.
There's that one reviewer who what she did was do the like set up the picture and not even play it, not even fake play it. Copy
Yeah.
shit that was already written about that game and post it as her own, and it was like plagiarism, and they called her out
Really?
for it.
Who was
Yeah.
that? That wasn't that Sarah
Uh
Shah or anything, was it?
no,
Not
no,
her.
it
No.
was that was Lyndon's ex. That
Oh,
she got
that's
called
right.
out for.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah, yeah,
GMT
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but
I
that was a
wasn't
long
sure
time
because
ago.
I know Sarah, like she seems to just get new stuff and then she only does a thing in a minute. So you don't even need to learn the game because she just goes, "This is the game. This is the first page of the rule book."
Yeah, yeah. That wouldn't be content that I
That's
would
it.
want, but
No, but if that's like if people want to see that, that's also good. I mean, people watch unboxings for crying out loud. I don't
oh,
really.
Ryan Courtney,
Ryan, hey, what games are you all working on these days? Oh gosh, should we talk about our game? We've
yeah,
never
go
done that
for it.
before in this.
Yeah, go for it.
Me?
Yeah,
Okay.
you go for it.
There's 8 of them. Where should I start?
Uh,
There's 8.
Start on what we're gonna show Odie this week.
Okay, so we're working on a game called CorruptCity. It's kind of like a funny, it's kind of a really lighthearted sort of funny game. So
Well,
the
it's
city is
funny
like,
to say lighthearted because it makes it sound like
well,
it's not deep, kind of
oh, okay, yeah, it's deep and it's heavy. It takes an hour to teach, so it's heavy, but it's like in terms of
whimsical.
the
Well, now that
mood,
even makes yeah,
the
the
vibe.
theme.
Yeah. So it's kind of a programming game, but it's also very tactical. It's about this little city that's like, I guess it's an expanding city. So there's all these like construction sites. There's all these little trucks that delivering goods and things like that. There's different construction companies. We're trying to rip off the construction companies. We're trying to open up certain new construction buildings that will do crazy things, crazy powers in the game. We're trying to get our like cousins, our like crime
Mobster,
buddies. Yeah, crime
mobsters.
buddies into companies and things like that so we can exploit them. Um, yeah. Does that sum it up pretty quickly, babe?
That
We're
sums up
trying to
sort of what we're doing.
we're trying to screw up the other people. Send Moe's trucks to the jam. Um,
And as far as mechanism wise, it is a programming, interesting hand building mechanism that's based on auto chess stuff for the video game auto chess stuff.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of card upgrading sort of stuff, which
It's
is really
probably
fun.
the meat of the game. Maybe is in that.
I love that part. It's so good. It's so gamey though. It's a
It
real
is.
gamey sort of thing, but it's super fun. It's like, oh, I've got this card and I'm going to upgrade it with this one, and now I've got this super powerful thing. And also, no one owns any of the companies. It's all just like we're all manipulating the same stuff.
Hmm.
Like we both might be working on blue and doing stuff there. And there's also police. There's corrupt cops in it too
Yeah, of course. There's
that
got to
you
be
can
corrupt
take on.
cops in it.
Right, and they try to stop the uh, extorting and things like that. There's a
Hell
lot
of a lot
going
of
on in the game.
hell of a lot of interaction. Lots of interaction. Um, yeah, I think it's really cool. You
Yeah,
definitely
so that's
you're welcome to play test it anytime. We'll play test it with anybody, anytime. That would be kind of cool to get what Ryan has to say about it, because I'm sure he would
yeah,
have
for
some great
sure.
insight.
Yep. because Ryan did that interesting pick up and deliver area control kind of game with
Oh yeah, I
the.
didn't get to try that. I
Oh
didn't get
man,
to try it.
it's cool. It's
Who
really
picked it
cool.
up? Do you know? Definitely, definitely. Then there's the key. I'm working on a tequila game, and it's still in the very early development stages. Sarah's coming in on it, and we're going to change a lot of stuff about it. I'm just trying to get the skeletal part of it in there, but we're trying to figure it out how we're going to have time to be able to do that and Corrupt City and everything. And
Yeah, there's
Matchstick
a lot of cool
Girls.
mechanisms in tequila already, though.
Yeah,
When it's
there
so
is a
short.
lot. Yeah, yeah. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot going on. It's going to be heavy. It's going to be the heaviest thing I think I work on this next coming year. I think, hopefully, if there's any value in that. We need to work on Matchstick Girls and figure
Yep,
out
3-player
3-player. Yeah.
and solo.
And so, yeah, those things we need to figure out. Those are the main things, right? And then we really need to get working on yours at some point soon, hopefully.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
just so much stuff to do.
yeah. And then, of course, there's Conflict of Plants, which is pretty much, I reckon it's like done. So good.
We'll see. I think everybody is very
Don't change
conflicting.
the theme.
Yeah, change the theme.
Don't change it. No, I like plants.
Mm.
Anyway, yes, we've got lots on. But I'll send you a message, Ryan. We'll invite you to we've got a little Discord server going for like playtesting and stuff and chatting. Lots of chatting.
Lots of chatting. If you're in the side things, that we're talking about werewolves. If you're in the main thing, we're talking about the value of content creation. So it's really weird from one extreme
Yeah.
to the next. Where were we, babe?
We're talking about content creation and getting free games and how it's the
Hmm.
worst.
Yeah, I would suggest not to, so you're not bound. So if you want to get monetized, I would suggest to try it to do it through advertising. I know it's or through direct, um, what do you call it, patronage from your
Yeah.
watchers. I would suggest
Yeah.
doing it that way versus um, trying to pursue free games and whatnot, because that
Right.
the pursuit of free games puts you in a really weird spot with the publishers. It might
Yeah.
like you think that you can be open, but it's just better not to, because you don't want to be in some kind of little, well, there's something about this game I really don't like, but it's so minor I better not bring it up kind of a situation, or I've got such a
Yeah.
short
I don't
time.
want to bring it up. I might not get any more free games. And then it's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's so
You
dodgy.
you just don't want to be in their pocket. I think it's the best thing just to buy it yourself, find a way to make it only happen. But if you're doing previews, that's a different animal altogether. It's another world. If I'm doing
Yeah.
previews,
You can
all
be
the
a
free games
robot.
you want, yeah, fucking fuck
Just
it.
be a robot. This is how you play it.
Done.
This is what it looks like.
Oh, let's ask Courtney what does he have coming up?
Yeah, Ryan,
Anything?
tell
Yeah,
us.
what's coming up? What does he have that's coming to Kickstarter? What can we hope for in 2023?
And while
Hope.
he's writing that, you
Hmm.
just made me think of something.
Okay.
If there's no reason to get free games and play the games before anybody else, because you can just, if you want to do that, just play test.
Yeah,
Go to
I
the
would
designer
suggest.
that you like and say, I like your games. Can I play test? And they'll be like, yes, please. Please
I
come play
love
test.
being in the playtest arena, like just
Same. It's
playtesting.
fun.
I like talking to people about the stuff before it gets made. I like to
Yeah.
be in the know. Um, I don't like to be in the hype where you're playing it at that week that it's going out and all that, because soon as it just makes you seem fickle whenever that game's no longer popular or you're not playing that game anymore and then you're on to the next. It really just feels fickle to me. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I want longevity. I want to talk about games that have been around for years, the evergreen games to me, the stuff that I just like playing. And here I am playing Autobahn that hasn't been completely released. And not everybody's gotten their copy, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. And then next week I'll play something else. So
So
yeah,
exclusive, Mo. So
yeah, yeah.
exclusive. Um,
Oh, we got
you made me realize something which was really cool, and
what's
that
that?
was that like when I've been playtesting, I have often said to the designer, oh, what if you did this and what if you did that? And now I'm not going to do that anymore
Hmm.
because it's up to them to design it. and you just have to say, this part I didn't really like because of this. And it's their job to find a solution that suits the game and them and what they're doing.
Yeah,
And
it's
don't be
that
that
thing where
playtester that's like trying to be the designer.
ask the designer what he needs from you. That's your best bet. Ask the designer, what do you want from me? How can I help you? And if
Hmm.
they give you the thing to say, hey, help me design, or what would you do in this situation? Well, do it then completely.
Yeah.
Then they've given you permission. But
Yeah.
a lot of the times the designers don't need to rethink their whole game based on your opinion. You
Right.
might not even be the market for it.
Yeah.
They just need a little bitty thing from you. Give them that
They
little
just
bitty
need the
thing.
feedback. Just give them the feedback. Don't redesign their game for them. So next is a deduction game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Oh, I love deduction games.
Crowdfunding late spring, early summer. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. I'll be all over that. Like, I wonder what the. Okay, so I'm gonna probably say, I'm gonna say the stupid thing I always say: how heavy is it, or how deep is it? And that's not really that important to most people. Probably, I would assume it's not going to be really, really deep, because I think Courtney's like a lot of us. We play a lot of deep stuff, and we have to design a lot of it less deep. Just depends. Like if with us in Corrupt City, I would say Corrupt City is a little bit. It's deep as anything I have ever worked on, but it's not as complex as anything I've ever worked on, which is a good direction for it. But Corrupt Tequila is going to be totally different. Tequila is as complex. I don't know if it's deep, but it's going to be complex because it's a
Yeah.
preference. But
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
don't know. Do
you'll
you
have
reckon
your say in it for sure.
light, only one action in the game? Okay, cool. I really like Turing Machine. I wish you liked deduction puzzles more. No?
I do to a point. Speaking of deduction puzzles, that one I didn't know that Lost Species was Planet X done for animals.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I just heard that today.
Huh.
Is Lost Species is Planet X for animals, and I was like, oh, that might be cool.
But is it really? Is it really, really? Or is that someone's hot take?
I think it's the same designers or
Okay.
something,
All right. So it
same people
basically,
working
okay,
on it or something. Like
cool.
the I saw that the layout was hexes, so I was thinking cryptid, but I don't know.
You did not like cryptid. But we
I
don't have to go there again
No, I didn't like cryptid because of the person who taught
because I
me.
didn't teach you. I
No, it's
didn't teach you.
because
I just
I
said
played.
play.
I
Just
no, I
play it.
played. I played with people that were too good versus me. They were just like
You
the
played it with people that
difference.
were too drunk.
The difference between their ability and mine was just the. It was just too. I was also too drunk. It was just. It was like
There was a
playing with
lot going
professionals. It
on.
was like I am an amateur baseball player and I'm playing with fucking professionals. Is what it felt like. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm not. Just put me out in the outfield and I'll just catch balls and that's it.
Yeah.
That's what
You're
it
just
felt like.
catching balls the whole time.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, you want to come play with us? Here's some balls to catch.
Yeah. Hey, we should play Planet X over, camera or something. That'd be fun.
Hey, we should
How
play.
easy is that? Because we just
Yeah,
have the app and
no, check this out. We should play it online, and start a game night, like Gabriel
okay.
said. Try
Yeah,
to do it all together. I think we
we
have what
could.
are we, Ryan Courtney.
Heavy weird stuff is coming, just not the next one. Ooh, heavy
Ooh,
weird stuff.
from Ryan. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's exciting.
That is exciting.
I like heavy
Um,
weird stuff. Oh, I put out this tweet and it was what publisher do you think puts out the most weird games, right?
mhm,
Crazy off the wall games.
mhm.
And so many people just named um like publishers that just put out their own game, their own designs.
Yeah, like
And
completely
I'm
anti
like,
what you were
not
asking.
what I yeah, not what I meant at all. Because yeah, obviously if you're self-publishing, you can put out any old weird thing that you believe in. But who are the publishers putting out other people's games and taking risks? Not as many, I don't think. Ryan says, I know one that's going to. Dot dot dot. Tell
Hmm.
us. Tell us. I mean, obviously there's like for me it's Spielworks 100%. They put out weird stuff.
Yeah,
Love
Holland
Spielworks.
Spill. does a little bit of work for other people, not much. It's mostly going to be
Yeah.
just Hollandspiel doing in-house stuff. But this, did I tell you that I took the cost to Hollandspiel first?
No. Oh, yes, you did. You did tell me that.
I mean, I was scheduled to show Uli, but I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
heavy cons in a few months, so I'll just send it
Yeah,
and
yeah,
see
yeah.
what they say. And too many components.
Huh.
They
Too
wanted
many
to, but
components.
too many components. Well, they do it in this very small box, and they have to do it all with little
Right.
chits, and it's all print and play. So, like, they go direct to print,
Yeah.
So it would have cost a lot compared to their other games, and it just wasn't. It wasn't the right fit.
How
The
much of a pain in the ass is that? Because then Uli's like, on the other hand, he wants lots of components.
Yeah, he has to have a lot of components because he has to justify the cost being
The
a
cost of
hundred
it.
bucks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really interesting. You should always research your publishers, and it's not about how good the game is. It's does it fit their niche.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter about the game because everybody's opinion is so fucking varied.
Yeah. It's like not one of the things you'd really imagine thinking about when you're designing a game, but you have to.
Yeah, how many components,
Components will work.
what price range this is going to be in, and all that stuff.
Not announced yet. Okay. That's cool. I'm very curious about
Same
the
here.
heavy weird game, but I will. I'm patient. It's fine.
Are you though? No, no,
No,
you're
I'm not
not.
really. That's a lie.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
based in
yeah.
Texas. Ryan's asking. He said, "Is one of us based in Texas?"
Yeah. I'm in Sydney. I am not in Texas.
You might be in Texas in July. We don't know where we're going yet, though. We don't know if
Someone's
I'm
going
gonna.
somewhere. You're coming
Yeah,
here or I'm going there.
or we're going to Bali or something. We're doing
Oh,
something,
yeah.
and
Something's happening.
something's happening. But yeah, I'm in Texas. Are you in Texas? Are you coming to Texas? You want to come to Texas? You want to eat some
He's just
barbecue?
come from there, he said. He's
Ah,
got he's got back from there.
should have
Oh, you
hit
didn't
me
say
up.
hello. What?
Yeah, we could have ate barbecue since Texas is so small, and we could have just probably been. We were probably in the
So,
same county.
oh man, I it was such a trip when I came there, like how much we were driving.
Yeah, it's a driving culture. We drive everywhere.
Yeah, and it just was just like, oh, America is just roads. That's all it is roads.
It's kind of like
Roads everywhere.
Audubon. It's just roads.
Yeah. I missed green things.
They
There
didn't
wasn't
have a whole
much
lot of great
green.
things. Yeah,
No,
not that
no
time of year
green
either.
things.
Well, no,
No, it was
depends.
dry,
Not in this part of the
hot.
world. We were in a bad part of the world for that.
Yeah. Cloudcroft had trees.
Oh, it had such great. It had
It had great
hummingbirds. It had
trees.
everything.
Yeah. Had the best trees. Go to East Texas.
Yeah, there's a lot of greenage there. You were just in the Panhandle, and it's all like the Panhandle is where the plains and the desert meet, and
Mm.
so it's all just prairie
Yeah.
desert shit. It's
Yeah.
lots of oil. Oh hell.
Yeah. What do you call those little things that are churning out the oil?
Oh, the pump jacks, the ones that
Yeah.
like pump it up and
The,
down. Yeah,
there's
the
so
pump
many.
jacks.
Oh, man,
Shit
there's
tons
so
of pump
many.
jack.
Yeah. It's like a sea of them. It's weird. Dallas
Yeah.
is cool. We didn't spend much time in Dallas.
No, we only spent a few days. We spent more time in Austin than we did Dallas.
Austin.
In
Austin
yeah,
was cool. Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
loved
Austin's a
it.
really cool town.
Yeah.
Lots of live music, and then and we went to
Nice
during a time
beers.
when it was a downturn in live music because there's usually so much more since we were
Mm.
getting on the ascent of the pandemic or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we should probably end this pretty
Yep.
soon. Any last little things about any of the stuff we've been talking about lately? Anything in particular? We've got the two train rush guys in our Discord, which is cool. We trapped them in our Discord to
They
make
live there
them.
now.
They live there now. We're gonna make
Do
them
they
talk
do
about.
anything else? Because they're just talking in there all the time. They're literally living in there.
Yeah, it would talk about interesting things about our philosophy. Actually, it's been a lot of judgment on the hobby, I guess. Like
Yeah.
it
We're all
hasn't
just
been.
judging each other and the whole hobby that we love so much makes no
I
sense.
think, well, no, we want to make it better. I think the
Yeah.
reason why anything is said is because we want to see a better hobby that goes for longevity. I think we all see the dangers of churning out, like when Homeboy, I forgot who it was in our Discord talked about having um that the market was oversaturated with content creators. So if you think about too many content creators, too many games, who's taking up the slack? And that's the people purchasing the games. They're trying to take up the slack from all this stuff being thrown at them. And of course, they're only, yeah, you have to like, okay, so I'm buying this week. Oh, you got something else for sale. I'm buying this next week, you know. So we're having all this slack that we're trying to take up, and we obviously want a better community, and a lot of us just want it to slow down a little bit, but it's not going to naturally slow down. We're going to have to force it to slow down, or maybe it naturally, because of the market itself, it might slow down, that people just don't purchase as much, you know, that we
Yeah.
start dividing in, like, you purchase all the games that are, if you like dudes on the map games and we're in the same game group, you buy the dudes on the map game and I'll buy all the heavy euros, and you know, we'll just do that or something. Because in the past there was a lot less of that. I used to own a game, you would own the same game, whose copy are we playing, kind of a thing. Like, let's say
Yeah.
Castles of Burgundy. Let's say everybody in the game group might own Castles of Burgundy.
It's a sign people have too much money.
Yeah, it's a sign of,
Everybody
but it also
owning
shows that like
castles of Burgundy.
your people want to buy stuff and there's not a whole lot of stuff to buy, so we're all buying the same stuff. So now
Yeah.
there's so much stuff to buy, we're just feeling like we have to buy it all. And I think
Yes.
in our Discord we're just talking about, we just want to better the hobby and make it where it's sustainable for a long period of time, because we want the games we want to play available, obviously.
Yeah, I think you're right, Gabriel. I think the costs have increased a fair bit, and that might do it. That might do
Yeah,
it. That might slow
I think
things
that's
down a bit.
fair. I think
Mm.
I'm okay with the cost going up. If I have to buy less and
Mm.
be more discerning in what I buy, then hopefully the cream rises and I'll buy, hopefully I can keep in business the games that I want to see. Not likely, but I'd like to try. I
Yeah.
know the Spielworks of the world will still be around, and I think some of the companies that produce heavier games, I think, have a really solid footing. But it's in those that are advertising to the masses. I kind of wonder. I don't know. I don't know if that's sustainable.
Yeah,
But
it seems like there's a lot of games being pumped out that are like all in the same bracket. Are
yeah,
all nature games that are for families that go for 30 to 60 minutes. That, you know what I mean? Like there's
right. And there's like
surely that's not sustainable.
there's a certain level of heaviness, and there's like a level of complexity game, and there's like only room for one of those. And it used to be Terraforming Mars. Now it's Nova. What is that? Terra Nova.
Arc
What
Nova.
Art Nova is in that the
Oh
same spot
god.
that Terraforming Mars was in. It's like there's one spot for a game like that for everybody to play. It feels
And it
like
is
that.
the same game too.
Ouch. It just feels that way. But then you have your other games where everybody feels like they should own it. Like everybody owned Viniculture. It wasn't my style, but and I didn't own it, but a lot of people did. A lot of people owned the Viniculture, or what's the bird game?
Outshots fired on Trailblazers' family friendly nature. Uh-oh.
Actually, I think that one falls in a good place because it's not, it's got its pouch thingy, you know, it kind of does its own little, I can take
It
this
does its
out,
own thing at least, yeah. You
and
can
it's
take
not
it.
a $50-$60 game from what I remember. I could be wrong. I might be I might be completely off base. But from what I remember, it was in the $30 range. Is that right? What's the price point, the MSRP on that game? Hopefully Courtney will let us know.
I didn't back it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's shrinking to
Concordia
your thing.
Wingspan.
Yeah, everybody owns
Oh, Wingspan,
Wingspan.
Jesus. Yeah.
Everybody owns I don't own it, but
I do not
everybody owns
own
it.
it.
But
For the
but
record.
it wouldn't be hard to find a copy.
No. I tripped over one the other day.
Did you really?
No, not really.
I thought you were saying.
I was walking down the street, I tripped over one. Yeah, what else? Yeah, I don't know. What else is one that
Yeah, that's,
everybody owns?
see, I think that's also the space. Either being a game that's not in the $50 range, a little bit cheaper than the $50 range, or being a game that's crazy expensive is where we're gonna see like sustainable stuff. The $50 thing, I don't know, man. There's so many games in that $50 range because that used to be the standard. Well, okay,
Yeah.
$50 American. I guess that's what, 75, $100 Australian. I don't know what,
Yeah, 75, 80.
somewhere in
Yeah.
there. There's a
Yeah.
lot of competition there. Lots of competition. But
It's hard to
I
it's
don't.
hard to get a game now for like under 100 Australian dollars.
Oh yeah, you got the
Really.
shipping problems.
Yeah.
But of course, this is just talking out of our ass. We just want to see the hobby accommodate the types of games we like. That's all we're saying. That's all we're bitching about is how can we make that a thing where we see more of the games that we like available, not less of the games we don't. I don't really care. You make 100 games I don't like. I don't care how many you make that I don't like. Doesn't bother me. I'm not playing them.
Ryan said boutique games, I think, will need to increase prices. Yeah.
Definitely. I hope so. I hope so. Well, we're seeing it
No, we
with
talked
Horse
about that
Carriage.
last week. Like, we're okay with that. We're okay
Yeah,
with
I'm
paying a
100% okay
small
with it.
publisher if the game is good.
Yeah, I will
I would
buy
rather
less
own less.
games. Yeah, exactly. I'd spend more for less.
Yeah.
Not less games. I mean, not less game content, less games in general. Like actual amount that I own. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We need to send Courtney. We got to remember send Courtney an invite, and hopefully we
I
can
will. I'll like do
play.
it right now.
Okay,
So,
cool.
okay. So should we wrap it up? We're going to talk to Ian next week
Yeah,
about
talk to.
werewolves.
We'll be werewolves, and hopefully we can tie in some board game stuff. I hope. I hope.
I'm sure. I'm sure we will.
Oh
I'm sure
well,
we will.
how
I
can
might
we
even,
not?
if I finish my manga, because I know he likes Junji Ito as well. I think that's how you say his
Oh,
name. So if I
that'd be
finish
cool.
it, I can talk to him about it. Maybe he'll tell me what the hell it's about because right now I have no idea. It's
Oh,
very weird.
see, I'll be the
I'm
person
lost.
in the sign going, "What the hell you guys talking about?
Yeah,
What?
it'll make me
What?"
feel good because with all the werewolf films, I'll be like, mm, blank
Yeah,
stare.
I got so many werewolf games. I mean, movies to watch in a minute. I'm gonna
Let's have
play
a
them on double
marathon.
speed. Yeah, cool. Well, thanks for showing up, the Gabriels and
The
Ryan.
Gabriels. The Gabriels and Ryan.
Uh,
Thanks, guys.
yeah, definitely,
That was
definitely,
fun.
guys. I guess that's it. How do I turn this damn thing on? Oh, follow us, meet us on Discord. We're always there. Anyway, how do you turn this damn thing off?